You hit a certain age, look in the mirror, and realize the tactics you've relied on for years, the loud clothes, the constant need to hold the room, are suddenly taking a lot more effort to maintain and yielding a lot less return. We see this behavioral loop constantly. Men who pour heavy amounts of time, money, and stress into trying to freeze the clock, clinging to an artificial version of youth. The math here is entirely backwards. They treat attraction like a static number that peaks at 25, rather than a dynamic currency that evolves as you get older. Today, we are going to audit your behavioral investments. We're going to locate exactly where you are bleeding energy into depreciating assets and show you where to reallocate it. Attempting to run a young man's playbook when you are 45 doesn't preserve your edge. It actively broadcasts deep insecurity to everyone around you. Getting older requires a structural transition in how you present yourself, moving away from outward flash and into what we call behavioral magnetism. Look at this chart mapping the efficacy of different traits over time. The social return on high energy dominance, trend chasing, and overt flashiness drops off a cliff right around age 35. But notice what happens when you redirect that exact same energy inward. Cultivating stability and presence causes your value to accelerate dramatically right when the outward aesthetics fail. That blue line represents behavioral magnetism. It is the practical, daily execution of peace, quiet confidence, and functional vitality. Aging doesn't cost you your social value. It just demands a portfolio rebalancing. You must move your capital out of loud aesthetics and invest it directly into a grounded presence. Let's break down the first major category: style. The most common misallocation for an older man is trend chasing, spending heavily on fast fashion to signal relevance. The optimal investment shifts entirely to tailored simplicity, fit, clean basics, and reliable grooming. Executing this requires letting go of the expensive, logo-heavy pieces in your closet. Instead, you redirect those funds and your time toward a reliable tailor who ensures your clothing fits perfectly. When your clothes fit correctly without screaming for attention, it signals that you are comfortable in your own skin. You no longer need a brand name to validate your worth. Achieving that quiet refinement works specifically because it refuses to beg the room to notice you. Our second category is social energy. The trap here is conversational dominance. It's the ego-driven urge to boast, interrupt, or control the discussion to prove you matter. The mathematically superior investment is active listening and physical stillness. Making this switch requires severe emotional discipline. You have to actively suppress the ego's addiction to immediate validation and comfortably let others hold the floor. When you maintain a calm, focused presence, it naturally draws people in. Women, especially younger women, recognize that rare ability to listen genuinely, and it makes them feel uniquely seen and safe. Active listening signals internal security, marking you as the most grounded man in the room without you ever having to say so. The final category is physical and emotional vitality. Do not burn massive amounts of energy chasing superficial vanity metrics like extreme muscle mass. Shift your health goals toward functional vitality. We are talking about sleep quality, a clean diet, and rigorous emotional processing. The trade-off here is stark. You are trading the short-term excitement of gym PRs for absolute consistency in boring, unglamorous daily habits. It also means directly facing your past failures, rejections, and heartbreaks. You process those events so they no longer dictate your reactions, which builds an unshakable emotional foundation. A man who eats well, who sleeps enough, and controls his emotions radiates a drama-free energy. That functional health triggers a much deeper level of attraction than cosmetic fitness ever could. Zooming out from these individual categories, the macro objective becomes clear. The ultimate goal is achieving the complete and total absence of desperation. This brings us to the maturity framework, 4 behavioral flips that anchor this new identity. First, prioritize your own purpose over external validation. Then you choose listening over talking, functional vitality over vanity, and radiating peace rather than inviting chaos. By internalizing these 4 traits, you stop actively hunting for people's attention, and you start naturally generating it. This redirection of effort creates a pressure-free environment. Because you no longer need something from the people around you, they feel safe enough to move closer to you. If you recognize yourself bleeding energy into fleeting trends, stop. Halt all spending on trying to look artificially younger immediately. Reallocate those resources directly into your sleep optimization and emotional regulation. If you already have the life experience, but you've let your presentation slide, your action step is simple. Apply a strict fit and simplicity filter to your wardrobe today. Knowing these principles yields zero return without execution. Daily behavioral discipline separates the men who lose their edge from the men who refine it. Aging is an unavoidable biological reality, but remaining a highly attractive, magnetic man is a strategic choice, dictated entirely